Hey guys, welcome back. We're on season 2 of our podcast. We took an extended break for various reasons, but we are excited to be back and talk more travel with you. Hey vacation dreamers, welcome to Book Solid, the podcast where two travel advisors share insider tips, talk about our favorite destinations, bucket list experiences, and everything you need to know to make your next vacation unforgettable. We'll break down what's included, what to watch out for, and keep it real with plenty of laughs along the way, while we help you plan with confidence. Let's jump in. We're going to take a slight turn with the podcast and focus more on traveling tips, rotate through Disney World, Universal, cruising, Disney in general, traveling tips in general. We are looking forward to having more guests with us as we go through season 2. So make sure to follow, subscribe, whatever you do for podcasts. And this week we are talking about 2026 vacations and what you need to know. So let's get into it.
So we can start with the most obvious being Walt Disney World. I feel like, especially with all of the promotions that they've been rolling out at the time of uploading this, the current 2 free night, 2 free park days promotion will probably have ended. But however, because it's Disney and they want you to go to Disney, there are other fantastic promotions that are available, especially for the summertime. The only caveat going to Disney World in the summer is the heat. So if you can bear the heat and the humidity, great way to save hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on your Disney World trip. So part of these promotions that they currently have, they will have 30% off your room. So this could be easily $150 a night immediately removed from your trip. So if you do 4 nights, you're looking at minimum $600 in savings. That's insane. So that's a great way to save hundreds of dollars, especially if you go deluxe. That is where you're going to save thousands of dollars. Another great perk. Another fantastic offering, not just for the summertime, but all of 2026. I know last year when we were talking, if you followed us in season 1, one of the things that we talked about was the water park admission. That is offered for the summertime. Promotion is not continuing like it did for 2025. However, for families that have kiddos ages 3 through 9, this is your year to use the Disney dining plan. Any kid that is ages 3 through 9, as long as the adults add on a dining package, the kids can eat for free. Again, a super easy way to save hundreds of dollars for food. And if you know anything about Disney, it is not cheap to eat at Disney. And if you are thinking about character dining, fantastic way to save so much money for something that is easily $60 per adult. So, great way to save hundreds. Like I said, free water park admission is for the summertime. So if you are wanting to check out the water park, the only caveat is you have to go during your check-in day. So if you fly in late, unfortunately, you will not be able to use the park. It does not carry on to the next day. They cannot add it on just because you fly in late. The caveat is you have to go during your check-in day. That is the only way you can use that perk. But it's a great way to start your vacation, kind of take it easy, ease yourself into the Disney bubble. Another great thing to think about is if you like to play golf, like mini golf, we can offer I can't even talk, the free mini golf tickets too. Another fun activity that most people don't even think about, honestly.
So when thinking of 2026 and Disney World, making the earlier you book, the better off you're going to be in your options. And if any promos come out in between or after you've already booked and they apply to your vacation, then we can apply it to your vacation. We can, if they meet the qualifications. So locking in anything December, November, those high peak times too, October, doing those now, and then you can make payments along the way if you want to, or you can pay it all at the 30 days. So when thinking of 2026, I know December, it's February. December seems really far away, but planning that vacation now if you're wanting to go with all the perks, the free kiddos eating free. If they do come out with any promos, we can add them on there. But then you're locking in the resort that you want, the room type that you want, and you know kind of what then you need to pay to get there.
It definitely pays to book in advance because I had a client that is going to be traveling this summer who booked back in October. Prime example. When this 2 free night, 2 free park days promotion rolled out, of course I naturally went to go check and make sure that they were still getting the best offering, or if I could offer that, it would have been great. Because they had booked before pricing had changed for the following year, it actually would have cost them more to apply the promotion, even though they were already well past the 4 day park minimum because they're extending their trip, they're making it super long. They would have had to pay extra for the promotion that's supposed to save you money because they booked before pricing had changed. So if you're wanting to travel, granted we can't do 2027 yet, but if you fill out our quote forms, we can put you on our VIP list. That way, as soon as we catch word of 2027 vacations, we can immediately email you to go ahead and start setting up something that will also save you money because, as we know, things are not getting cheaper. So if you were to lock in something for next year, you are already going to save so much money, even if promotions roll out. You are going to save more money than the promotions that will come out because I've
Mm-hmm.
just proved it. They don't work.
I've had that happen with a client as well, to where they booked so far in advance that when a promo did come out, they were already cheaper than the promo was. So, as Brianna mentioned, if you want to get on our VIP list, I will put our links in the descriptions, so you can add it to both, add it to one. I'll leave that up to you. So, yes, booking early for Disney World is going to be in your best interest. And if 2027 is, you're like, 2026, so we need a little more time. 2027 will, last year opened up in April, towards the end of April. Keeping that in mind, that it will sneak up on us pretty quickly. Thinking if you are thinking about a 2026 Universal vacation, a lot of the same things. Get it locked in. The earlier you lock it in, the better off you're going to be. Again, if there's any promos, we can apply them. Universal is special in that they do dynamic pricing. So the closer you get to your travel dates, the more expensive it's going to be. And honestly, I've been doing a lot of Universal pricing lately, and the price can go up and down. Anyways, no matter if it's getting close or not. And so we can watch it. I'll say this with hesitation. We can watch it to an extent, but you don't want to watch it too much to where you miss out on the lower price.
Yeah.
But I'm also watching it enough to where I can probably say safely if it's going to go up or come back down. Some cases they've been pretty steady, but in some instances they have gone up. So
Mm-hmm.
keeping that in mind with Universal, locking in your vacation early as well is always going to be your best option. Your better room options, better availability for resorts, price, and not waiting. What we have been seeing this month, and I've been seeing on a lot of Facebook groups, is the shock when Epic is full and you cannot buy a ticket. They say Epic sells out, and we say yes, Epic sells out. So purchasing that ticket when you're ready to purchase that ticket sooner rather than later, until Epic increases their capacity. because they're still not at full capacity.
Well, even then, the park hasn't even been open a full year yet. So a
Mhm.
lot of people are still trying to experience it for the first time. So I don't imagine crowds are going to get any calmer anytime soon, especially with the talks. There's nothing confirmed. So please just take this with a grain of salt. There's already talks of them expanding even more,
Mhm.
expanding in the Epic Universe side of Universal Studios. But again, that's just talks. There's nothing confirmed yet. It's just things that have kind of teetered down through potential rumors. But it makes sense given the Orlando area. There's a lot of room for expansion for both major theme parks. So kind of keep that in mind.
And the thing with Epic too right now is now if you have a 3 day or more park to park ticket, you're able to hop over to Epic. So when the OG parks close extremely early, like 7 o'clock, Epic's open till 10. And so we're seeing people funneling then over to Epic, where Epic used to be fairly calm in the evenings.
Mm-hmm.
It's not saying that same way anymore.
Yeah.
Um, and so, again, making sure that you're able to get into Epic if you want to go to Epic and getting those tickets early. Because then, if you book early too, when things come up like Halloween Horror Nights and those tickets drop, or Breakfast with the Grinch, you are ready and know when those are offered and can jump and grab one of those coveted items.
I will say, if you, again, I feel like I always do this, but if you were to compare Disney World and Universal Studios, I know I touched on all the promotions that are going on. Universal doesn't typically do a lot of promotions. So if you're banking on the fact that Universal Studios is also going to do a summer promotion, that the likelihood of that actually happening are slim to none. The pricing you see is what's going to be offered. Maybe in the future this will change, but in the time that I've been a travel advisor, I have seen very few Universal Studios promotions compared to Disney World. Disney World tends to do promotions to some degree every season or so. Some are better than others. Like this summer is the perfect time to go. We have not seen a two free night, two free park day 2009. So the likelihood of this promotion ever coming back is slim to none. So I know it's pretty much over at this point. You can still take advantage of the 30% off room discount, which is a fantastic saving. Like I said, hundreds of dollars. But if you're banking on the fact that Universal Studios is going to have some like amazing two free night, like it's not going to happen. If you stay at some of the off site resorts, there's that possibility that some of the ones that they partner with may offer free nights, but personally, as a travel advisor, I don't recommend staying off site when you're at the theme parks, honestly.
Although they are running a similar 2 day free ticket right now, that if you buy a 6 or 7 night ticket, your day ticket, you're only paying for 5 of those, right? Which I think is funny. To be completely honest. I was like,
Yes, 7.
I just don't know. 6 and 7 nights seems like a lot. Days.
Yeah.
Of course, 6 days at Disney seems like a lot to me. It can be
Yeah.
done, but it feels like a lot. But yeah, like Brianna said, they really don't. They've got one in the spring here that ends at the mid-March. That is one I haven't seen very many either. And so that one kind of threw me for a loop that it was out there. And the thing with Universal, I have found too, quoting so many, there are so many options and combinations that you can do with Universal
Mhm.
that it can get overwhelming really quickly. I counted that there are 12 different express passes, different types. So you have like a 1 day Universal Islands of Express basic express pass. Then you have the 1 day unlimited Islands of Adventure express pass, and then just go down, track it. 1 day epic, then you have the 3 day basic, like 12 different types of express passes in countless then combinations that you can do with your vacation. You don't necessarily need a 3 day, 3 park express pass. You can buy a 3 day ticket and only buy 1 day worth of express passes if you want. So, talking that through with somebody, I think, is invaluable. It's that if you're trying to hit a certain price point, what are your options? And with Universal, we can play with the numbers a little better than we can with Disney.
Something to worth noting that I actually brought up in a previous call with a client. They were naturally asking, how can I help them with their trip? Like, what's the difference between them book it themselves? All of that. Naturally, they're going to get all of our tips and tricks. They're going to get, what's best, all of that. A super awesome perk that is not offered if you were to book it yourself is early park admission. So if
Mm-hmm.
you're wanting to take advantage of as much time as possible at those parks, the only way you can get that perk is by booking with a travel advisor. So just another thing, I brought it up during the call. This specific client was not interested because they're not morning people. But I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I mean, that is an option if you guys decided to get up early and go hang out at the parks. You have that ability because you booked through me to go early. Another thing to maybe keep in mind.
With a multi day ticket,
Yes.
it has to be a multi day ticket. So if it's 1 day at the OG parks and 1 day at Epic, then it's technically a 2 day ticket. But yes, that is a huge perk, especially if you're not staying on property. And I've had a lot of people reach out recently about that perk and wanting to have that access. Epic, it could be a game changer to get in early park. And if you're not staying on property, then that early park is not a guarantee unless you book a multi day ticket with a travel advisor. Absolutely. Do you want to touch on Disneyland?
Yes. So, kind of in the same vein as Universal Studios, like I said, Disney World is the one theme park that rolls out the most promotions consistently. Disneyland does them very seldomly. They still do them more than Universal Studios does. Typically, when Disneyland rolls out promotions, it's also usually in the summertime, which again, if you're not feeling the heat of Florida, the humidity, all of that, and you want a more, I wouldn't say relaxed because Disneyland is absolutely not relaxed. It's just as busy. You'd be surprised given only 2 parks. There is a lot packed into that tiny little park. They are offering a really great promotion that if your kids are ages, again, 3 through 9, they have the option to have reduced park ticket pricing. You do have to travel between May 22nd through September 17th. It kind of just depends on how many park days you add. Personally, I don't even consider a 1 day park ticket. That is absolutely not enough time. But if you want to do that, I wouldn't be able to help, but it's $50 a day for the kiddo. If you look at more park days, which is my personal preference as someone who has been to Disneyland consistently the last couple of years, you need to go at least 2 days, if not three, if possible. If you do 2 day park hopper tickets, they're $100 for a $2 ticket, or two for a 2 day ticket. Again, for the kids only. This does not apply for adults. Adults have to pay full price, but it is super nice. Again, 3 days, you're looking at $150. So it does add up. Disneyland can get pretty expensive, especially if you stay on site. Their 3 on-site resorts are the pricing as deluxe at Walt Disney World. I have
Mm-hmm.
stayed at one of them. I might be staying at another one this summer. We'll see. I see the benefits, but if you want to look at Good Neighbor, also some options. But if you're thinking about going to the other coast where it's not as hot, it's still going to be pretty hot. It's just not going to be humid. You could also save a couple $100 just on kids tickets alone. The only caveat too, they don't offer free dining. Dining plan is not a thing over in Disneyland. So just kind of keep that in mind. There's vast differences between Walt Disney World and Disneyland. If you are absolutely confused, we would be honored to help you. They're very confusing. They do not work the same, even though they're both Disney. They are polar opposites. I mean, I could talk for 2 hours just talking about the difference between the two parks, honestly.
I haven't looked, honestly, I haven't looked very closely. Is the kids' tickets, are they park to park or can you upgrade to park to park?
They're park hopper,
Park hopper 50.
which, if you're doing 2 days, yeah, I would do park hopper, honestly. That gives you the ability to easily walk between the two parks. Whereas Disney World, you don't really need the park hopper unless you're doing 3 days and you absolutely want to get to all four parks, then yes.
Yeah.
Other than that, you do not need park hopper unless you just have a desire to do all the things. Disneyland, I would definitely consider it because,
Hmm.
depending on time of year, their fireworks, if you're going during the school year, they will only shoot off fireworks on weekends. They do not shoot them off during the weekday because they're so close in the Anaheim district. All the schools, obviously, the kids need to get up and go to school the next day. They can't have fireworks popping off at 9 o'clock at night or whatever time they go off. So, there's vast differences. I definitely suggest the park hopper because, like I said, you can
Hmm.
easily hop between the two parks, do whatever you want, and it's a great time. But that's exclusive to park hopper only. You would have to pay normal pricing if you just want to go to Disneyland Park one day and then California Adventure the next day. You would have to pay regular price.
And Disneyland, looking at 2026, their events are stellar. So
Yes.
you have Oogie Boogie in the Halloween time. Their Christmas is not a special ticketed event, but it is decorated and fun. So, and then they have their after hours events in happening kind of right now in the spring and early summer. So, definitely planning early and again locking in that price for Disneyland as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is one thing that Disneyland excels at. This is what they're known for is all of these events. Like right now is Lunar New Year.
Mm-hmm.
This is where you want to be. Like Disney World also this will do I can't even speak. Will still do their celebration of Lunar New Year, but Disneyland goes all out for all of these events. This is what they're known for. If you really want a like full-blown Disney experience, I would suggest Disneyland because if you're like targeting like a special event, Lunar New Year, Pride Night when it's in June, like any of those special events, you cannot go wrong with Disneyland. Like they go all out. Star Wars night, they go
Mm-hmm.
all out. You will see characters that you will never see on a regular basis. So, if that's something you're interested in, look over at Disneyland.
And then they are still celebrating their 70th anniversary through August ish.
Yes. Yes.
So I will also touch a little bit on Disney cruising. Most should already have 2026 booked. However, to fill up their ships, Disney likes to come out with these fun promos.
Mm-hmm.
And there is currently a promo for the Wish and the Dream that ends mid March for 20% off your sailing with a $250 onboard credit for select sailings.
Mm-hmm.
And this could be a decent savings for a family to be able to get on. I was actually
Yes.
looking at it today and I found a 4 night on the Wish um, for May in a veranda room, 2 adults, 2 kiddos, under $4,600 with the $250 onboard credit. Now, mind you, that doesn't count for flights. It doesn't do your hotel beforehand, transportation to the port. So that certain things will add it up and safely say before flights about 5,000. However, your Disney cruises are all inclusive. Your food is already included. Your room is already included. Your visit to a private island is already included. Like the entertainment. So what you $4,500 or $4,600 for 4 people? I'm like, maybe I want to go. Of course, one of mine is an adult. So ours would be bumped up just a little bit. But no, we got 2 Disney adults now. Shoot. He just tomorrow's his birthday. So
Oh,
we now have 2 Disney adults. Anywho, so there you can absolutely book a Disney cruise still in 2026. How and with these promos, they're trying to fill up their ships, so keeping an eye on any promos that come out. But 2027, Disney just announced their summer 2027 cruises yesterday, and they start being available to book to Castaway Club members next week, and then to new cruisers the following week, February 23rd. And with cruising, it's always the cheapest as soon as they come out, minus any promos. But also, I will say, look at the promo, but then look at the other cruises too, because you might find one that is still cheaper than the promo price. You might just need to push it out a little bit, but it might fit your family better. So, I wanted to put a little plug in there for Disney cruises because with these promos, they keep pumping out with them. But 2027 did get announced, so planning that now. And there's some big changes, and we might need to just do a whole episode on that. But throwing that out there as well as you are beginning planning whatever vacation you are looking for, whether it's 2026, 2027, we would love to work with you. If you want to work with us, we would love to chat more. Like I said, we'll put our emails and our VIP lists down in the description for you, and you can connect with us. And we would love to connect with you. Till next time, we will see you later.
bye, guys.